I'm an actor. You are an actor. The person on your left is an actor. The person on your right is an actor too. We are all actors. And we play more roles than we might realize. Like how Shakespeare famously put it, he said, all the world's a stage. He also said one man in his time played many roles. People at our generation, we have this sort of thing called an existential crisis. Like how Candace just said, we ask ourselves questions like, who am I? What am I doing in this world? Why am I here today? Do any of you ask yourself these questions now and then? May I see a raise of hand, please? Yes? I do that. I do that all the time. I remember when I was 6 or 7 years old, and you guys would remember that too. Back in primary school, we're sitting in a class, we're listening to our teacher, and our teacher would say, take a piece of paper out. You would do that. And she would say, write your ambition. Write anything you want. Oh, I want to be a teacher. The other would say, I want to be an astronaut. Or you could even write, I want to be a prime minister. Anything. But that is a rule. You are not allowed to write, I want to be an astronaut and a singer. Mm-mm. I want to be a prime minister and a painter. Mm-mm. I'm not allowed to write, I want to be an accountant or a teacher. There is an unwritten rule against the end. This is our society now. We romanticize the idea that we have to do one thing, and one thing very well. With the rise of all the informations we have from newspapers, from internet, we now retreat to only one path. Why is it so? Think about it. During the Renaissance period, the ideal man is not one person who could only master one thing. The ideal man was someone who are good at a lot of things. But then, nowadays, if you come from a family of farmers, you would end up being a farmer. If you come from a family of doctors, you probably study medicine. You were almost born into the career, and no choice was given to you. It's 2020 now. If you go home today and you tell your parents, Mom, I want to be an engineer and a painter, and I'm going to be jumping from job to job constantly, your mom is going to be worried. Your aunties and uncles will start muttering about you. Now, why can't we be like them? Why are we only focusing on one career? With the sea of information we have at our fingertips, we have online databases at home. We could learn pretty much anything with online tutorials. We have an abundance of information. We have social media platforms. We have so many other platforms. And just by sitting in front of the computer, you have, if not first-hand, but almost first-hand experience. So I would suggest that we could, in this era, not only hold one job title, but we should do so. We should have many job titles. We should let a lot of things define us. So what is the new way? What is the new culture I propose? I remember many years back, I was interviewed at a movie junket. The interviewer asked me, "Hey Koe Yeet, what made you want to be an actress?" I told her the first thing that came into my mind. I said, "Oh, so I can play many roles. I can live many lives. I can be a serial killer. I can be a ghost. I can be a rebellious kid. I can do anything I want, and no one's going to judge me. I can live livelihoods that I'm not allowed to live in real life." Then it struck me. Why did I only resort to living many lives in my acting career, but not in my real life? I told myself I have to change, and I did that. I did not let one career define me. I tried many things. Besides an actress, I'm a host, I'm a barrister-at-law, I'm a soprano singer, I'm a state-level tennis player, I'm a state-level bowler, I'm a district-level table tennis player, I'm an ambassador for an animal welfare center, and many more. Everyone today, why do you let one thing define your life? I define myself by the things I do, and I would continue to do so. I came up with the idea of a tree. Simple, easy to remember. Imagine a tree. You start from the roots and the trunk, and it branches out to form a beautiful crown. Imagine the tree trunk as your main passion, your main career, something that you spend the most of your time in life doing. Then it's the branches. The branches are your side career or your passion that you really want to try out. So metaphorically speaking, that is your life right there that I propose. A tree would be beautiful if you have one strong trunk and many branches, rather than just a tree with only one trunk and nothing else. I'm not saying go home and quit all your jobs and start 20 different jobs tomorrow. That is not what I'm trying to propose. That will only leave you as a bush. That would be a tree without a trunk and only the leaves. Every single tree is different. Some may have 2 branches, some may have 10, some may have 20. Don't compare yourself with one another. The idea of this is that even though you have a stable career, you have every single reason to branch out into different careers in your life. Try out different things, experience different things. I'm not sure if all of you have a religion or you don't. It doesn't matter. We have one physical life here on this earth, one chance to live. Why don't you live your life to the fullest? Why don't you try to step out of your comfort zone to experience different things? Life is too short to only just be comfortable with what you're doing now. Recent studies show that people who multitask are actually a lot more productive. And a study in 2015 showed that a third of the workforce labor in the industrialized world are actually not accepting Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 jobs anymore. They are hiring independent workers because they feel that independent workers are a lot more educated, experienced, and they always want to challenge themselves. so. The question is, what is the art of living many lives? How to do that? How to try out different things? Acting taught me the art of living many lives. Acting itself is actually like life. Living life is acting. The first thing you need to do is get rid of your ego. I'm an actor, so I come from an actor's point of view. To be a good actor, you have to get rid of whatever ego you have so that you could embody the character that's given to you. So that you won't care about where the camera is. You won't try to outplay your other fellow actors. And you won't even think about the fame that you're going to get after the show is released. You only focus on your character, get rid of your ego, and receive advice and probably tips from the directors and your friends. That is how to be an actor 101. And it's the same thing in real life. If you get rid of your ego, all you have left is humility. You listen to advice. You won't be jealous about someone else's shoes or clothes just because they dress better than you. You won't be jealous of someone else's capabilities because you know that with humility, you can learn from them. You can absorb the positive that you see in someone else and you try to embody it. You try to improve, you try to better yourself. And try to step out of the negative mind space that a lot of people have nowadays. Someone is better than me, I'm just going to ignore them. If someone is better than you, go up to them and learn from them. Get rid of the ego. Secondly, being adaptable. As an actress, it's about flexibility. It's about transforming and morphing into the character. If that scene requires you to cry, you have to cry. One scene later, you have to laugh. You would have to convince yourself it's a funny scene. You will have to go with it. That is what an actor does. And it's the same thing in real life. You have to be flexible and know how to skill transfer. If you're living many lives and you have many careers, you are bound to find things that you don't understand and you don't know how to figure it out. That is when you transfer skill from something you have already known. There is a saying, nothing is new under the sun. Something that you want to venture into will have a skill set that you sort of known from the previous career that you have. For an example, I remember when I was in the UK and I was going for an exam. It's called the advocacy exam for bar students, where we were supposed to present a case in front of a judge and cross-examine the opponent's witness. In order to do that, I have to come up with my own script and then start questioning the witness. I didn't know how to do that. I have no confidence at all. I was nervous as hell. And then it struck me. It's actually playing pretend. I pretend that I'm a lawyer from some TV series. I pretend that I'm Harvey Specter from Suits. I stood out. I told the judge as if that I was going to win. And that boosted my confidence. I scored really well for my advocacy exams, not because I argued the best, but I showed that I was the best. I got the pretense from acting. That was where I skill transferred. And it worked for me. It probably will work for all of you too, in other careers. Finally, get used to failures and rejections. As an actor, I understand that I live a very strange career life. And 90% of the time, it's about going for auditions, castings, meeting directors, production teams, and 10% of the time, you are actually acting. And with that, I've been through so many failures and so many rejections. I've been for castings, and casting directors wouldn't be happy with me. But after so many years, I understood that sometimes it's not about me. It's probably because of the decision I made in the casting room. It wasn't to the casting director's taste. Or maybe it was because I'm not tall enough, or I'm too young, or something else. Not pretty enough, not ugly enough, I have no idea. But things are sometimes beyond my control. And it's the same thing in real life. In real life, we need to face enough rejections and failure to know the beauty of failure, because that is when you know what you did wrong, and that is how you improve yourself. Change the energy from failure into a motivation. If you hit a brick wall, you fall, you stand up, you lick your wounds, and you continue, you go on. It's because of the usual rejections that I received from acting made me realize how beautiful failure is in real life. Life is a movie. But it is up to us to decide our roles and the ending. But a movie is only meaningful if it has a rich plot. How can you live a rich life by just standing back and idly letting the world pass you? You are supposed to investigate, experience, step out of your comfort zone, try things that you've never tried before. Try out different roles. Be whatever you dream you want to be. Why be many things? Why? Because it makes life so much more interesting. Don't be one when you could be many. So to many of those lives out there, seek them and live them. Thank you.